Let's dig into the gno.land guide Effective GNO to learn about the best development practices in gno.land. I will go on many different subjects in this video, so I will be quite fast. If you're curious to have more information on one of them, I made related videos or guide in the descriptions. We have multiple counterintuitive good practices compared to the normal development in GNO. You should embrace global variables in Realm. Any persistent state storage is made from the global variable. Anytime you executed a new transaction, they automatically get persisted and updated. One of the key good practices is to never export them directly for security reasons, so you should use getters and setters for control access, kind of like an API. As well, you should embrace panic, which cut the execution of the program. Instead of returning an error that will be treated by the sub-realm, you should directly cut the transaction whenever there is a critical failure to not update any variable that shouldn't be. This prevents invalid state changes and is generally a good practice in the blockchain development as well in Solidity. In that example below, we try a transfer, but if the amount is negative, so in invalid states, we should panic and say we have an invalid amount. The init function is crucial since it acts as a realm constructor. It lets you set variable that will only be set once as initial states, admin address, or any other kind. As well, it is preferable to do small dependencies than small copying, at the opposite of Go. In Go, it is easy to have a package that has been updated with malicious code, hence some known attack on some known repositories. gno.land has every of these packages immutable, so they are already audited by yourself or the community. So the more code you use that have already been audited, the less your code will have to be analyzed. So it is generally a good practice in immutable programming to build through composabilities, since this vector of attack is not possible. You should make all the documentation for the end users, not just the developers, since all the public endpoints will be accessible from the GNO web interface. You have the different parameters and the documentation written just above. They should be designed like public API. Every expose function is a public endpoint, and they should so validate all the inputs and use private function for internal logic. For the security and the access control, previous realm is used for the immediate caller, so the previous realm that call your own realm, and origin caller for the transaction senior. Let's imagine two cases. The first one, a user caller realm that call your realm. Previous and origin won't have the same value, but if the users call directly your realm, they will have the same value. Anytime you want to treat the original address of your users, you should always call origin caller as admin address, for example. To construct any safe objects, you should encapsulate your objects in method that will verify some condition. In the case below, anytime we want to withdraw money from the vault, we have to check if the owner of the vault is the address of the previous realm. It enforces their own security, it protects internal states, and it can be shared between realms with security, since they have to access your roles to modify it. For data structure and the state management, you should use AVL3 for large datasets. Instead of loading all the data in memories, you only load the necessary value, which reduces a lot the gas costs. It is ideal for very large collections. It uses more computation cost, but in the end, the lazy loading of the AVL3 will use less gas than the computation cost linked to it. To use any of the state or the data off-chain, you have to use events. They will be emitted from your realm, and they will be catchable by external service like TX indexer, which use key value format for filterings. As below, anytime there is a transfer, it emits the from address, the to address, and the amount of money that has been transferred. It can be very useful to follow your token activity and make statistics from it. Whenever you want to create your tokens, you have the coins, which is managed by the banker module created by the GNO core team, and it is a native currency with all its tools. It has a very low gas cost since it's very limited, whereas the GRC20 tokens is entirely customizable by your own realms, your smart contracts, but it has a higher gas cost. Coins with banker module is usable for very easy coins, where GRC20 can be used for decentralized finance, decentralized organization, token gating if you want to give special privilege to some users. And if you want the best of both worlds, you can create a wrapping curse, which is a GRC20 with the coins inside. Now, to create a good package, you should match the package name to the directory name. So if you create a boards realm, it should have a directory named boards. You should define all the interfaces and types in package directories. You should keep all the realm in the R package focused on the business logic. And for any private package, it should be in the internal directories. It is always preferable to create small and focused package instead of global and generic one to follow the previous rules. Conclusion, you should embrace GNO-specific patterns to create secure and efficient realm, design everything for users and composability, and choose the appropriate storage solution for lowering your gas cost for your end users. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. I highly recommend you to check out the guide I put in description and the sources on the GitHub directories, and I wish you a good day.